Hello everybody. Well, my little cold that I came back from vacation with quickly developed into bronchitis. Now I am outside right now. It's a little chilly. I'm out here letting the dogs run around just a little bit, but I'm going to go back inside and sip something warm and have the humidifier blowing in the room. And I'm taking lots of naps and taking medications, so hopefully I'll be much better soon. In addition to the avocados and the onion skins, I also remembered that I used to collect lichens, and we have a lot on the ground under our pine trees. And so I did collect a few the other day, and they're sitting out here. I need to take them inside so they can get fully dry and put them in their own little bag. But I'm going to keep collecting these. I forget what color they make, and I don't know how much I need, but I think more is always better when it comes to natural dyes. So lichens will be my third one that I'm foraging here on our property, although I will certainly do a lot more in the spring and summer, of course. Well, right now I'm really hanging out with the animals in the living room, resting. And I'm knitting. I'm knitting little dishcloths. The dishcloth pattern is a super easy pattern, and a version of it is really good for making a really skinny shawl kind of scarf that Kate Jackson talks about, and that may be what I use some of my wool that I'm spinning for. So, all right, let's get back inside. I'm too cold. Lucy, no. Lucy, no. No. Well, for those of you who haven't been here for too long, yes, the sweater I'm wearing, ugly as it is one that I spun the yarn for and knitted myself. And so one of my projects this winter is to get a good start on my next hand spun, hand knitted sweater. And it's going to be brown. I'm actually going to follow a pattern this time. Fancy that. What I'm spinning right now is the second hank, I guess, of this Malabrigo noob. Now this fiber, that's part of the Malabrigo label, there's the other part. This fiber has a bad reputation on my spinning groups for being very difficult to spin, and I'm not wild about it, but it is beautiful and it's very soft. You do have to, as you saw me do, you do have to prep it ahead of time. And I've tried kind of spinning across the top to keep the colors together, or now I'm just kind of doing my best. I separate it into, about, oh, I don't know, 1.5 foot, 2 foot long pieces, and then separate it out beyond that. But I never comb it, brush it, card it, anything, because it'll turn to mud. So this would be a nice dark mud, I'm sure. So I'm going to spin that, and I've already spun, and you saw me do this way back. I've already spun the first hank. Looks like this. Very lovely. The colors are still pretty distinct. And I think what I'm going to do is to ply the two together when I'm done. Lucy wants to learn how to spin. I've always wanted to have a daughter who wanted to learn how to spin, and I guess Lucy is it. A cat. So when I apply those, when I get this spun, I've just started this second hank. When I get it spun and I get them plied, I'm going to make a little shawl scarf thing, and we'll talk about that more later. So that's project number 2, brown sweater number 1. Here is the pattern I'm using for my brown sweater, and you can find this on Ravelry. It costs $7 in the US. Now, I did try to evaluate how much yarn I was going to need based on what they said. It says medium or heavy worsted weight yarn. I would assume mine will be heavy, but my homespun is fairly inconsistent. It says use size 9 circular needles, and I have a pair of those, although they're not bamboo. That's my favorite. But they do give a gauge there. And so I decided to knit a little sample of about 4 rows in stockinette. And it says 16 stitches would equal 4 inches. Now, let me show you what I got. Well, I reworked it in stockinette, and it is definitely 5 inches. So I'm going to have to think about this before I launch into this sweater. So if I made my sweater just as it is with those size 9s and my yarn as it is, I would end up with a sweater that was, what, 20%? 25% larger than I need it to be, and it would be big and drapey. The neck would be too big, and so I need to either go down a needle size or somehow adjust this pattern so that it works for my yarn. It may mean that I have a little bit closer to enough yarn that I need than I thought I did, which is good news. I may still have to spin up some brown yarn from somewhere. Maybe I should dye it myself. For dyeing, I think it's fascinating that you would think black beans would give you black, or just various things would give you the color you would expect from that item or that flower. But they don't. They give you something entirely different. Isn't that interesting? We'll talk about that more, I'm sure, later. So today I'm going to spin a little bit of this Malabrigo. Like I said, still not feeling the best. But yesterday I spent all day lying down and sleeping, and I slept so much I could barely go to sleep last night. So I think today I want to do a little bit more. Okay, so a little spinning, and that'll be it for today. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye bye.